Alright, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai. Kal Halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honor to brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And back out here again through the mercy of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to get into this word, to get into these prophecies, and to get into these situations that are happening throughout the four corners of the earth, and break them down according to the truth that Yahweh Shai has bestowed upon us, okay, which is in these scriptures, the true understanding of these scriptures, okay. So you have a few different things happening out here. One of which you got the Iran thing that's popping up, and I'm gonna get into that, Lord's will, okay, within the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. And also too, you got this thing out there amidst certain individuals, okay, who call themselves Israelites, okay, but they are out here on a happy-go-lucky doctrine of mirth, of which the scriptures doesn't speak about that, especially in the times that we're living in right now. We're certainly not in a time where it's supposed to be in a space of mirth. Matter of fact, when you go into the scripture says there is a time for everything. So when the Lord comes back, we certainly know that it's going to be a time of rejoicing and having fun and enjoying the earth. So therefore, by deduction, if that's the time for rejoicing when the Lord returns, it means by simple mathematics, okay, until the Lord comes upon the scene, okay, this is certainly a time where we're supposed to be mourning because the Lord's not here, okay. Matter of fact, you got it to where the wicked are in rulership, and I'm going to read that to you within the scriptures, okay. You got it to where the wicked are in rulership, the line of the Rothschilds, okay, the elite banking families. They're the people that rule the earth right now, and the earth is in a state of mourning, complaining, okay. As the scripture saith, when the righteous are in authority, the people are rejoice. That's talking about when the Most High establishes Jerusalem, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, okay, when he sets us up as the mountain on top of mountains, okay, the government on top of the governments, the ruling body, okay, when we are in that position, that's when you're going to have peace upon the earth. Matter of fact, I got a subtopic which I'm going to try to get into, okay, going into the red horse, and how that the person that sits on the red horse, being the Edomites, okay, the elite banking families, they have pretty much taken peace away from the earth, okay, through covert dealings, okay, through sleeper cells, through sleeper agents, which they've had since the dawn of the ages, or since their inceptions. They've always had it to where some of their people will be in key positions, all right, amidst ruling nations. Whether it was the Medo-Persians, whether it was Israelites, you always had it to where you had some Edomite amiss up in there, okay, causing havoc or about to cause havoc, so they could overthrow the existing kingdom and they be the next one that rise up, okay. So let's start off here within the book of Job, the 9th chapter on the 24th verse. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So you got it to where everything on the earth right now is it's a resource, okay. When you watch certain types of movies, they tell you that, you know, the aliens come from space, they come and they land, and they come for Earth's one unique resource, which is the people. Now, when we take that principle and apply that to biblical doctrine and biblical scriptures, we find something that is evident, okay, and explained within the book of 2 Ezra, the 8th chapter. I believe it's in this book of 2 Ezra, the 8th chapter, where the scripture says, if everything be made for our sakes, that being the Israelites, okay, the almost celestial beings that live upon the earth. Matter of fact, the scripture goes into that as well, in that it says that we are those angels that are bound by chains, okay? Or if those angels had not kept their first estate, what was the first estate? Okay, the ordinances that was given unto Adam, and through the sin of Eve, okay, they became like the regular men, okay, they was dying, the death came into the world, okay, the position that the earth is in came by way of that one action, okay. So those beings, they were put upon this earth to enjoy earth's unique, if you will, okay, a resource, that being these different people that you have out here. Now you got it to where the counterpart, the wicked side of the coin, okay, the wicked individual that's in the movie, if you will, that being Esau, okay, he also wants to rule and enjoy this resource that you call as people, okay, which is where you have the thing called slavery. That's why when you had it to where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, really the Negroes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which were ruling Europe, okay, because you had it to where the first slave ships, they came from Europe. Okay, when you had it to where those slaves were brought up into the Americas, what do they call that? They call that manifest destiny. Meaning to say, even within the scriptures, okay, you got it to where it is evident that whoever rules the earth rules the people. That is to say, the people will become slaves and subjects unto them. Okay, so let's carry on with this. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So Yahweh, okay, the man you call as the man you know as God, okay, he gave the earth into the hands of the wicked. Now, if you paint a picture by going into the scriptures and understanding how this all came about, this all goes back onto the covenant that Yahweh Shai made with Israel, okay? Because when you had it to where the covenant was made, okay, there was a certain expectation that was bestowed upon them in keeping these laws, statutes, commandments. That was to say, they was going to keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and they was going to be the head and not the tail, okay? Now, you got it to where it was manifest destiny, because really when you go into those curses, when you go on to the negative side, okay, the consequences of not keeping this covenant that was bestowed upon the Israelites, you had it to where they was going to go up into captivity. That is to say, they was going to be the tail, they was going to be subjects, they was going to be part of the resource, okay, to whoever was going to rule the earth, okay? So you had it to where the punishment for the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, and all of the Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, was that they was going to serve their enemy, which was Esau, who you know as the Rothschilds, okay, the elite banking families, or the Illuminati, or the what do you call it, the Freemasons, okay, the Jewish banking families. Those are the ones that rule the earth right now, and they rule the earth right now principally because the Messiah had it to where that was the punishment that came upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, for not observing his covenant. Now you got it to where the word is being pushed out there, okay, and the people of the Lord are turning back onto their power. So you know that the infrastructure, the power structure that was given unto Esau, okay, which is that man that sits upon that red horse, okay, to whom power was given to take peace from the earth, okay, we know that his kingdom was going to be what? Was going to be in a position where it was going to come dwindling, it was going to be crashing down, okay, it was going to be less prominent, and it was going to go down, and what was going to come up was those men that was out there pushing this word first and foremost, and then subsequently the whole nation was going to come through. Now we can read about that within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, in a little one. Okay, so let's finish this off. It says, Job 9:24, it says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not wherein, who is he? Okay, because there is a thing of iconoclasm that comes about with the rulership that is Esau's. Okay, when Esau came into power, he understood who the judges were. He knew who the saints were. He knew who the real Israelites were. You got it to where a lot of people out here believe that the Israelis within the land of Judea right now, and within the land of Israel right now, are the real Israelites, because there is a covering that's been cast upon all the people upon the face of the earth. Okay, but see, in this word coming out, okay, in the men of the Lord being out there, we're removing that covering that's been cast up across the four corners of the earth. Matter of fact, we're shedding light and saying this nation belongs unto this people. Okay, rather more, this people belong unto this nation, and that people belong unto this nation. That is to say, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans belong unto the nation of the Israelites, if their seed goes back unto the man Abram, Isaac, and subsequently Jacob. And the same thing goes for the elite banking families. They're the people that come from the Edomites. Okay, if their line goes back onto the man Esau, and their judgment as pursuant to the scriptures was that they was going to be removed from the earth, okay, and they was going to be destroyed. Okay, now you got this thing of crafty counsel spoken about within the book of Isaiah, the 83rd chapter, wherewith they think they're actually pulling the strings. Okay, we put ourselves into power, but we know through the scriptures they was put into power as our punishment. Okay, and as to put up on the same statement that I just made, they got it to where they thinking they're doing their own thing and they're going to rule forever. Doth not the scripture say that their continuing thought is that their houses was going to continue forever? Okay, so they think, okay, we put ourselves into power, and subsequently we're going to keep ourselves in power. But really, the Most High said he set his bounds. Okay, he set up the time wherewith he's going to be in power, and he ain't gonna surpass those bounds. Okay, that means to say there was a certain amount of time where judgment was going to be played up upon the earth for the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, going up on the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High that he gave unto them. And once that judgment has been fulfilled, starting first and foremost with the men of the Lord coming out here and shedding the light upon all of these darkness. Okay, that was going to be departing. That was going to be the beginning of the judgment of the Lord finishing. Okay, because if you had it to where you had a 350 year captivity, okay, and that was the judgment, okay, and these people had to return unto Yahweh Shai. That means to say, at the end of that judgment, at the end of that 350 years, the truth was going to be abounding, man. Okay, a good example of that, you check out the history of the Babylonians, and when they took down Jerusalem and they carried away captives into Jerusalem, you had to where certain individuals, when the Medo-Persians had come out, were sent forth to the earth to have the spirit to want to go back home. And that's the same thing that you're going to right now. We're in the third day. Okay, we're in the day when the Lord was going to return, and we're in that time where the Lord was going to raise us up. So it stands to reason if He was going to raise us up, He was going to return us unto the if the judgment is coming to pass, if the judgment is nearly finished. That means to say He was going to send people that was going to return His people back unto Him. Doth not the scripture say that He was going to send John the Baptist, and He was going to turn the hearts of the people unto the Father, and the heart of the Father unto the people. Okay, so that schism, that friction that existed between the Most High and His people by way of us not keeping the covenant, that was going to be done away with through the mediator and through the teachers that the mediator had sent. And this is why you got to where you got all kind of individuals throughout the four corners of the earth coming out here and telling you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you got to get your act together, okay, because the Lord is returning, and the ones that do, well, the Most High is going to have mercy upon them, because they're going to have to be of the elect if they're going to sincerely turn back unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter, and I'll start from the first verse. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. And how is this light, this glory being risen upon thee? Through the YouTube, through the internet, through these different individuals that you know as the prophets, bums, okay, great monster, whatever you want to call them. These are the men that was shedding the light out throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, principally, I read this scripture, okay, to land back, okay, of the precept within the book of Job, the 9th chapter, because the scripture within the book of Job, the 9th chapter, said that the wicked was going to come about, and he was going to have it to where he was going to cover the faces of the judges. Okay, so who was going to remove the covering that was going to be set up? It was going to be the men of the Lord that was going to be what? The countermeasure to Esau's endeavor. Okay, we're the countermeasure. Okay, we're in direct opposition to the agenda of the elite banking families. That's why there's such a heavy push to have it to where you got internet censorship. That's why there's such a heavy push to have it to where you got this thing of terror and terrorism being pushed out here heavy, so that can be linked to the men of the Lord that's going to be out there, and they're going to be called radical. Because why? Because they're calling for change, but they're calling for spiritual change. Spiritual reform of their own people, of which when the Most High sees that spiritual reform, He's going to come and do the dirty work, man. Okay? But see, there's such a heavy push against that so-called manlyhood about the scriptures, okay? Because this whole world has been so effeminized that's all part of the agenda to stop this word coming out, man. Okay? To keep these darkness perpetuate. So it says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth. So we're in a state of darkness right now. And again, that goes hand in hand with what the scripture says within the book of Proverbs. Okay, the scripture within the book of Proverbs says that what? That when the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, everyone complains, because they're all in a state of darkness. Okay, one good example of that comes to mind is what you know as Eastern medicine and Western medicine. That is to say, you got certain herbs within the earth, okay, and certain things that the Most High has created to heal you. Okay, now you got to where you got people out there perpetually on medication, okay, that look down upon you if you got a so-called Eastern diet and Eastern way of healing yourself. They look down upon you, but really, guess what? That's a state of darkness, because you're only furthering your own ill health. Okay, you're only furthering your own bad health. Okay, in maintaining a so-called Western mindset when it comes to your own health and medication and so on and so forth. You got a lot of people out there, they're on chemotherapy, okay, they're taking all types of pills, okay, thinking that's going to make them better, when it's actually making them worse. When all it takes is to take the knowledge that's contained within the scriptures and apply the understanding about the herbs, and you're going to be better off. But this all goes back onto the wicked being in rulership. Because here it is, you go to where garlics come out the ground, and they go up for £1 a kilo, okay, you can't merchandise that, because everybody can go in their own back garden. But when the wicked was going to bear rule, they was going to take something as simple as that, okay, and then commercialize it, man. That's why you got pills out, you got people out here popping pills like this, like there's no tomorrow, okay, but never really treating the ailment, never really treating the illness thereof, because you got to where the wicked are in rulership, and they ain't giving you the right answers so you can fix your problems. Okay, now multiply that by 100 and apply that to the scriptural understanding. You got to where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, they're in that state of mental illness. Okay, they believe they're a Negro, they believe they're Nigerian, they believe they're a Jamaican. Okay, that's a state of mental illness. Okay, and when the Lord was going to return, He was going to send His prophets to teach this word. They was going to be healing you. They was going to give you the option, okay, the opportunity to heal yourself. When you go into the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, what does it say? It says, seal their hearts, okay, and their ears, so they don't understand the words that's contained within the scriptures, so that they don't convert and be healed. So when we're out here and we're telling you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay, this is who you are. This is what the Most High wants you to be. This is the standard Yahweh Shemi Shai wants to uphold. We're giving you the opportunity to heal yourself. But again, because you go into where the wicked are in rulership, a certain amount of our people, they was going to go hand in hand with the wicked, and they was going to look down upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the prophets that was going to be out here, okay, the same people of their own nation, okay, who are telling them what's the standard and how they're supposed to conduct themselves, okay? So let's go back onto the scripture right here. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover it says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and His glory shall be seen upon thee. Okay, so really, when you're talking about that, that's really talking about when the Most High sets up the kingdom of heaven, which really is just a government on earth, but it's going to be a government within righteousness. Okay, so when that's established with the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites on top, okay, that's when really that glory was going to be seen, man. Okay, that's when really that glory was going to be seen, and these different nations was going to know, okay, how the Most High was always with us, and His agenda was always towards us, and this was all part of His all part of the grander plan. Okay, so now let's go into a topic. All right, a topic, if you will, because you got a lot of individuals right now, okay, that are coming into this word. Okay, and the scripture says you're supposed to count the cost. Okay, now I'm going to go into these different precepts now, okay, dealing with that, which I have prepared on the side here, and then I'll switch topics as I go. But pretty much, when you come into this thing, you got to count the cost. That's not to say you ain't supposed to come to this thing. That's the misconception. Okay, the misconception is that you're supposed to count the cost and see if you got the grits, if you will, okay, to sustain yourself within this truth. That's not what that scripture is talking about. The scripture is talking about putting your mind in check, man. Okay, and we're gonna see that in these different scriptures that we go out here. Okay, how that really you're supposed to put yourself in a certain mindset of expectation. Okay, that is to say, when you come into this word, you're gonna have a certain amount of chastisement that's gonna come upon you. Okay, when you had it to where certain kings were upon the earth, namely King Solomon, he says, when you increase in knowledge and wisdom and understanding, okay, you increase in sorrows. Especially if you go to where your people are in a state of captivity, you're going to increase in sorrows. Now, if you go to where you got parties going on and rejoicing and mirth, okay, i.e. the Passover that you're going to have out there within the IUIC, okay, or the one they're trying to promote, that's not in a state of mirth, and therefore they're not in a state of increasing in knowledge. And that shows forth in the videos that they do and the understanding that they bring forth to the people. Okay, matter of fact, a lot of the work that they've been doing, we've had to do a lot of fixing for that. It's likened unto a house that's built by a shoddy workman, right? That's what IUIC is bringing forth to the table. Their work needs a lot of rework. So we're gonna have to go out there and redo the job. And part of that work that they've been pushing forth, and part of the spirit that they've been pushing forth, is the spirit of mirth. But we ain't in the time of spirit of mirth. Okay, that go hand in hand with a statement I had made. Okay, regarding how that when you increase in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, especially that of the spirit, you was gonna increase in sorrows. Okay, that is to see if you see certain individuals within this truth and they're so-called complaining this, that, and the third. Okay, they're in a state of knowledge. Because the first thing you're going to see when you come into this truth is that, wait, hold on a minute, the wicked are actually running the world right now. Okay, Satan's minions, they're the ones that are up in office right now, okay, calling the shots. Okay, matter of fact, all of the problems that you have in your so-called day-to-day life, whether it be a rent bill, okay, mortgage, all types of debt, whatever all of those problems are, that goes back onto having the wicked within rulership. So that's the first thing that's supposed to put you in a state of sorrow. Okay? That's the first thing that's supposed to make you stand back and say, well, hold on a minute, damn, I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize that. Then you look at the whole food industry. Okay, the very thing that's supposed to keep you alive, and how that's been defiled all for monetization. Okay, then you look at the fabric of society and how that's been turned over its head. Okay, all for what? All for the purposes of setting up a so-called new world order. Okay, a vain endeavor. Okay, which they're not going to be able to execute. Okay, all because you got it to where you're in a state of oppression underneath your enemies. When you see these things, you was going to be in a state of mourning, and that goes back in hand with this lesson that I'm going to try to push forth right here. In that, counting the cost is supposed to put in your mind in a state of sense, okay, of look, you're going to catch a certain amount of L's within this thing, okay, but you're supposed to push on onto the mark, which we're going to read about a little bit later on, which is what? Which is to say that the more side of the latter end was going to increase, okay? So let's start first and foremost with the instruction, which is within the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, and starting at the 4th verse. So this is the book of Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, go through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of them. So that was the instruction that he was going to be given. Matter of fact, when you go into the book of John, the 7th chapter, and the 35th verse, okay, what's known as the so-called Great Commission, okay, these were the instructions that Yahweh Shemi Shai had given unto the men, okay, to go out and push this word. Okay, John 7:35, it says, then said the Jews among themselves. No, that's not the one. The one I'm thinking of, okay, which I'm not going to go and look for, but I'll quote it, okay, is that when the Lord was on the scene, he said that what? He said, go forth and teach, okay, about this word, okay, go not into the ways of the Gentile, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that was the instruction that was going to be, that the Lord gave when he was on the scene, that this word was going to be pushed out there, okay? So when you're seeing these videos being uploaded, when you're seeing the different prophets that are out there teaching this word, you was going to have naturally, you was going to have it to where you was going to have a burning fire within you to come out here and push this word. This is for the newcomers, okay? So you got to count the cost of that. That's not to say you got to stand back and not go, that's the whole thing about faith is jumping in, okay? The whole thing about faith was jumping in, but you was going to have to put your mind in a certain state of expectation to catch help. A certain mindset of expectation to know what's coming forth. See, if you're saying, you're believing in this truth, you was going to have to wait, you're going to have to have it to where your mind knows, hold on a minute.